Hi everyone, and welcome to the Gemini Weekly Tarot Bite reading for the week of August 14th through the 20th. This is I Am Illuminated Tarot reading for Soul Illumination. So hi everyone and welcome. My name is Lauren. This is a quick energetic look at the week ahead for the sign of Gemini. Now we are basing this reading on the two themes that came up in the general collective reading, which were Never-Ending Story and the Ten of Pentacles. Now, the never-ending story really asks us to take a look at a story in our life that we have carried with us to this point about ourselves, that we've told about ourselves, that it's now time to finally kind of put to bed. We get to close that book, sever that old story, and we get to open a new book in our life series, and we get to start a new book entirely about who we are now without that story. So this can be where we were always unlucky in love, and that was the story that we carried with us. And this is the new story where we write where the main character, the hero or the heroine, gets the girl or guy, meets the love of their life. So that's the kind of energy we all really want to get into this week. The Ten of Pentacles speaks specifically to that long-term vision for ourselves, what we want to build in the physical. What are we working towards? What is that goal for us? Is it the home that we can pass down to generations to come? Is it the business we want to grow that it becomes nation or worldwide? Is it growing a family that we want to have multiple generations to celebrate with in our old age? Whatever that is, there's a sense of really getting clear on that with a new story coming in and getting ready to start the building process. Getting ready to commit to that vision no matter how long it might take to come in. All right, so let's see about this never-ending story. What do you need to know, Gemini, about the never-ending story that's ready to come to a close in your life? Ooh, hold on just a minute. All right, so I have Nine of Cups. Okay, Nine of Cups is really leaning into making a wish, a heart-based wish. Ooh, and the Tower. Okay. For some of you, when we think of the never-ending story, this really speaks to the Nine of Cups and the Tower, that there's a revelation around a dream that you were not really allowing yourself to. So it can be two things. This can be where you were not listening to your own heart. You were not focused on your own cup. And there was this dream within your heart that you wanted to make, but you weren't allowing yourself to really make that. Now, the Nine of Cups can also speak to overindulgence. It can speak to kind of like, as you see there, someone surrounded by all the cups. This can be where maybe you partake a little bit too much in alcohol or something that kind of alters your state of being. And there can be a revelation around that as well, that maybe this is for some of you who are kind of dealing with that this is where I'm finally not going to overeat anymore. This is where I'm finally going to dedicate myself in this chapter of my life. I'm no longer going to be the person that overindulges in some aspect of my experience, whether it's alcohol, food, Netflix, binging, whatever it is. And that's going to be the opening up point for myself in this next chapter. This can also just be, though, for some of you where you're opening up, where before you were not allowing the Tower to come in, that the Tower had to come in because you weren't allowing yourself to really honor or look at or admit that there was this dream that you really wanted to have fulfilled for yourself, whether this was the romance of a lifetime, the romantic partner you always wanted, or admitting to yourself you want to have kids, admitting to yourself you always wanted to be a doctor, admitting to yourself that you wanted to have a home with, 5 dogs, and yet you live with roommates who tell you can't have dogs, something. I mean, it could be anything. It's incredible what the heart yearns for and what would truly fulfill us and lead to a fulfilling life experience, and what we hold ourselves back from really following. And sometimes those two things can come together to where then we do overindulge in some aspect of our experience to fill that void. So those two things can be intrinsically linked, where we drink too much every day because our heart yearns to have our nights filled with the love of a romantic partnership, but yet we don't have that person there. So to kind of drink away the emptiness, or we watch a bunch of Netflix because, or I mean, this can even be where it's something that we consider healthy. Like you read too much. You're just sitting in your home reading book after book after book instead of getting out there and meeting people or engaging with friends and family because you feel lonely. But instead of actually going out there to say, my heart's dream is to be surrounded by friends and family, you fill that hole with something else. So there's a beautiful chance now, Gemini, for this next cycle for you to lean into what that heart's wish is. That's what's going to show you where have you not been wanting to recognize that there's some aspect in your experience that you want to come in and you don't have to fill it with anything else anymore. You know, this could be like where somebody's like, I really want to have a family, but because I don't have a family, I'm just going to work myself to death and I'm going to stay at work until 10 o'clock every night so that I don't have to go home and remember that I don't have a family. But yet that's not bringing a family closer to you, is it? Because you're at work all the time. And so there's no chance that you're giving yourself to meet that person who might be that person who helps you achieve the family in the future, something along those lines. So now for the 10 of Pentacles, we have 2 cards that jumped right out here. We have the Ace of Swords and the Princess of Cups. Yes. Page of Cups. Really, so there's this clarity around where you have not been honoring, again, your cup. The Page of Cups holds her cup. That cup is that 10th cup. That's the 9 of Cups wishing for the 10th cup, which is the happy family card. It's our heart's fulfillment through the emotional plane of our experience. And with the Ace of Swords and the Page of Cups, there's a sense here of the clarity, the realization of, yeah, what I want to build for is based on what that wish is. Or it could even be, this could be because the Page of Cups can represent children. It can represent your inner child, or maybe you have not, maybe part of this was inner child wounding where you didn't want to admit something to yourself because of how that part of yourself was treated when you were younger. But this can also represent an actual child in your life. So this could be that clarity of, I want to have children, or suddenly, maybe for some of you, it could be that, oh my gosh, I'm finding out I'm pregnant and I want to, that's what I'm building towards. But I think there's a clarity here around the realization of that 10th cup, whatever that is for you, that this 10th cup for me is having children. This 10th cup is honoring that cup, my cup, that's making that wish. That's where our dreams come from, our needs come from. Comes from our cup. And so I think for many of you, there's been this maybe a little bit of an emotional disconnection for some time that in this cycle is being healed because you are connecting to that dream. You're allowing your heart to make that wish. You're allowing the tower to come down to where you can finally feel it, feel what you want, feel what you love. And you have the chance now to really embrace your inner child, embrace your cup, embrace the innocence of your heart and what wants to come forward from there. But also, again, if this is clarity, if this is like the aha moment of like, I always told myself I didn't want to have kids, and suddenly you're like, whoa, my clock is ticking, then lean into that. When our soul yearns for something, when our heart yearns for something, it is because that is something we are meant to experience in this experience. So follow that. But if it's literally just, this is what my heart wants, follow that as well. It's a very positive, and again, it will help heal other maybe unhealthy aspects of your life experience where you've been just kind of maintaining or trying to kind of, plug the hole, so to speak, with something else that's not been healthy for you. And then you're going to bring in the actual thing that will be. All right, let's pull one final card here for you before we end this reading. Let's see here. What does Gemini need to know for the week ahead? Ooh, I love it. One of my favorite cards in this deck. It says Panther spirit. Reclaim your power with number 44. Very powerful number. It's an angelic number. It's a number that really speaks to the double energy of building a firm foundation, but then it further goes down and reduces to the number 8 in numerology, which is the number of personal empowerment. It's a number of empowered leadership, and it's a number of physical abundance. So there's a sense of really tapping into that physical plane of experience, building a firm foundation towards something that really allows you to reclaim your power through realizing a dream. Love that, Gemini. You have had one of the clearest readings out of all the readings this week, so I hope you feel that way. All right. If you'd like to book a personal reading, you can click the link on the description in the description box below to visit my website. Otherwise, you can view your full tarot scope for the month of August for your sign, they're all up on my channel. And if you'd like to be notified when I release my weekly and my monthly readings, you can go ahead and subscribe to the channel and click on the notification icon. I greatly appreciate any new subscribers and those of you who continue to support my channel. It means so much to me. All right. Bye, Gemini.